Do you struggle with pigment selection for your clients? Do you know the why behind your color choice? Do you even know what is in these bottles? Well, let's talk about it. So the main goal with our clients is to find the color that best matches their brow color or their hair color, and that will heal properly in the skin. So first, I want to talk about what determines our hair color. Well, our body produces melanin. The amount of melanin present will determine your hair color. Well, let's think about it on a scale. From the lightest blonde, white, maybe albino, to the darkest black. Your white and blonde hair will have little to no melanin. The black hair will have the most amount of melanin. And then all the shades in between will be different ratios of melanin. There are two kinds of melanin that I want to talk about. Eumelanin, which will give you your blacks and browns, and pheomelanin, which will give you your reds and your yellows. White will represent lack of melanin. So your body only produces these colors: black, eumelanin, red and yellow, pheomelanin, and white, which is lack of melanin. So let's go back to our elementary art class and talk about some color theory. For the purpose of pheomelanin, red and yellow, and eumelanin, black, we'll be using food coloring, and for lack of pigment, we will be using white. Now let's see how, using only these colors in different ratios, we can create all different shades of hair color. So what I'm gonna do is put different amounts of white here, which is representing the lack of pigment. So here we're gonna put about 20 drops. Okay, that's gonna be our lightest hair color. And then we'll put 10 drops. That's about 11, but that's okay. Then we'll put about 3 drops. And then we'll just do 1 drop. So I'm gonna put the same amount of eumelanin and pheomelanin, red, black, and yellow, in each of these white piles of paint to show how the ratio changes the color. Okay, let's start with our 1 drop of white paint and just put 1 drop of black eumelanin and 1 drop of red and yellow, our pheomelanin. Let's mix that up, see what we get. As expected, we have a dark brown because we only have 1 drop of white, which is lack of pigment, and we have a higher ratio of actual pigment, melanin. Okay, now let's do that in each of the rest of the piles. So just 1 drop. And 1 drop of yellow pheomelanin. Now let's mix those up. Now I could tell that the yellow did not really come out for this one. So I'm just gonna try to add a tiny bit more. So as you can see, the higher percent of melanin, the darker the hair color, and the lower percentage of melanin, the lighter hair color. Well, now the question is, what about ashy, cool tones versus warm tones in hair? That's going to be determined by the ratio of eumelanin to pheomelanin. So let's create a cool tone here and a warm tone here. Let's use 10 drops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of lack of pigment. Red is warm and black is cool. Let's do 2 drops of black for a cool color. 1, 2. And only 1 drop each of yellow and red. 1, 1. Let's see what color this creates. Perfect, we have an ashy blonde. I mean, it's kind of gray, but to show you the ashiness, I wanted to show you how eumelanin is more present. And to show you how the warmth is created, let's do 2 drops each of red and yellow in this one, and only 1 drop of the black eumelanin. Now this should create a warmer hair color. So there you see it. These are kind of extreme. You don't see anybody with these actual hair colors, but you can see how the warmth and coolness and the darkness and lightness is all created by different ratios of pheomelanin and eumelanin. For example, let's look at Tina Davies' dark brown. The ingredient list will show the contents from highest content to lowest content. So that first ingredient you see, there will be the most amount of that ingredient. The first ingredient in dark brown is yellow. So we know that yellow has the highest content in dark brown. The next ingredient is actually TiO2, which is titanium dioxide, which is white. Next ingredient is aqua, water. Then we have red 254, black 7, glycerin, then red 269. So there are going to be different kinds of reds and yellows in here, but those were the main colors: red, white, yellow, and black. Okay, so we are going to make dark brown. So I have the colors written down in order from most to least. So to do this exercise, I'm going to measure out 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. So 10 drops yellow, 8 drops white, 6 drops red, 4 drops black, 2 drops red. And these are 2 different types of reds. One is cooler, one's warmer. But for now, we're just gonna use the same red. We wanna just get the idea of how color is made and mixed in these bottles. Mix that up. Okay, and it's not exact, but you can see how close it is. We don't know the exact measurements of each colorant, but you get the idea that that is how these colors are mixed.